Welcome to another video. Today we are going to explore the admin area for a social network. So we are taking Web4 Classic as the template for your next own social network. And I have created your demo for Jimdo. So our job is today to customize the social network, and I will walk you through the entire steps of setting up your own social network when you receive it, and how you can build your own customized social network from your own logo, your own design, and all the settings. My job today is to show you one entire walkthrough, and whenever you have any questions for any steps, just write an email to the team at hello@linksprint.com, and we will reach back to you and follow up with your questions. But my job today is show you all the settings in the admin area that you can customize, and I hope I can explain it as good as possible. So the most important thing is only admins can customize your own social network. And whenever you have your own social network, you will have your own admin account delivered. So when you create it in our SaaS application, or if you order it directly by the team, you will get an admin account. And as an admin, you can make other users admins as well, or moderators. And those users will receive access to the admin area. You can access the admin area if you press on your profile and go on admin area, or if you add a slug to your domain. For example, in our case, it's jimdo.web4.1, and then you just have to type /admin-cp or admin-cp, and then you will get directly to the admin area. So let me open the admin area, and you'll see the system is currently loading. And on the first page, you will see this dashboard. I have to admit, the data in the dashboard is a bit rare. You can see how many users are on the social network, how many people are currently online. You can see how many posts are in the social network, how many groups do exist. And you have a rough timeline about the different statistics. But you have to give your own Google Analytics code in the settings. I'll show you in a minute how you can do that. How you can do all the settings like Google Analytics to get more and deeper insights about your users and your customers. And if you combine this Google Analytics with your database information that you can also access, which is our USP, you can access the database and make callings to the database with AI. If you do that as well, you will get a very deep insight about who is your customer, how do they behave, how do they interact in the community. But this is just a little starter dashboard. And you can see here this warning, and we made this warning because we wanted to show you whenever you receive those warnings, you can get more information about them in the system status. And the system status is like a health check for you. You shouldn't receive red important warnings, because if you receive those warnings, just feel free to message the team. Then we need to set up something in the infrastructure. You may have discovered a bug. But I will show you that there is another warning. Just let me make a configuration. If I enable the developer mode and if I go back to the health check, you can see that there is a yellow warning. And a yellow warning mostly comes with a configuration issue. So if you made some configurations that are more critical, you will receive a warning. If you get this sort of message, which is red, just message the team again at hello@linksprint.com. Okay, I will disable it in a minute and I will show you what's the developer mode, but this is the most important thing. And by the way, if you want to follow up and set up your social network, this guide is for you. If you want to have specific, very small tutorials, go and check out the How to Web4 playlist on YouTube, where we showcase in very small steps some configurations. Okay, so admins, let's go. The most important settings are in the settings tab, of course. And I will show you the website mode, which is for the lazy ones or the ones who have little time. And here you can pre-configure your features regarding or compared to other big social networks. You can see we have some templates like Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram, and other templates will come like the TikTok mode or the Twitter mode. So those templates are pre-configured, and if I, for example, activate the LinkedIn mode, you can see I disable the poke system, the movie system, the memory system, but I keep enabled the blocks, for example, or the fundings. Or if I want to have more Instagram features enabled and everything else like fundings or blocks should be disabled, I just have to press this button and then I'm good to go. But I will keep the Facebook mode because the Facebook mode is the more free one. And on a Facebook mode, I have an absolute freedom about the features and I have every features. So for this demo, it's quite good. Please keep in mind that this is not a design template. We will have other themes as well in this documentation, but this is more a pre-configuration for the features. So if you want to say I want to have features like LinkedIn or Instagram. On Instagram, we have user stories, we have a marketplace. You can enable this one, but on Instagram there are no movies or no pages or no subgroups. So those features are disabled by default. All right, now let's go to the general configuration, and it's getting a bit more interesting here because here we have a mix of very important and less important but very powerful configurations for your own social network. So I will go on the left side and then we take a look on the right side of the settings. First of all, it's really crucial to understand the developer mode. The developer mode is a system that helps you to debug configuration issues on your social network. So let's say you make a configuration and you're not really aware of how it will behave on your social network. Just enable this system and the developer mode will show you, hey, there is an error. We will throughput an error. If you see any bug on the social network, just enable the developer mode and tell us what you specifically see, and then we can go into the code and we can check it out, and then we can fix the bug more quickly. So the developer modes helps you and our team to understand issues with your social network. But this is more if you want to set it up or if you want to discover the core or the origin of a bug. So whenever you are in production, please disable the developer mode so that your users don't see any error things if there are any bugs. So your users shouldn't see any errors. It doesn't feel very user experience. The user interface is maybe cracked. So just disable the developer mode and then you're good to go. The next setting is the cache system, and the cache system makes your website up to 80% faster because for those who don't know what a cache is a system that stores static content. For example, images, sometimes videos, some render pages like HTML, CSS. And it's storing all the data to deliver it way quicker when someone else requests it. So if you enable a cache system, your website becomes quicker. But if you always want to have the newest content, like if you change the logo, for example, the old logo can be stored in a cache and then it gets delivered even if you update the logo. So if you want to have always the newest data from the server, disable the cache system, then the server delivers you the newest data, but the performance could be a bit bad if you disable the cache system. So caching itself levels up the performance and the speed of your website or your social network. Then a very powerful mode is the maintenance mode. So imagine you have some moderation problems, or let's say you have, a template issue and you want to understand where's the problem. You can enable the maintenance mode and then no one else can access the social network. So right now, if we access the social network as a new user, we will see that there is a maintenance banner and which says that we are currently doing maintenance work and please come back in a few minutes. And only you as an admin can disable this maintenance mode. And all you have to do is, and that's really important, you need to be logged in as an admin and you have to access this subfolder. So you have to say your socialnetworkdomain.com/admincp. So your socialnetwork.com is your own domain. For example, a subdomain like jimdo.web4.1/admincp or admin-cp, and then you will get directly to the admin area where you can disable it, and then the network is available for everybody. Okay, SEO-friendly URL is more for the SEO, so if you have a very live public social network and you want to have it directly in the Google rankings or in the Bing rankings or Yahoo or whatever search engine, it's very good practice to enable the SEO-friendly URL because it makes your website more understandable for bots and crawlers, of course. Then the developer system here, which is more the API system, enables you to access the social network via an API. So an API is an application interface, which makes it possible to work with your social network from any other third-party application. For example, you can build your own app, you can build your own website, you can build your own admin area. You have our API system, and then you can request data from the social network, or you can modify your social network directly from your third-party application. So this API system is really powerful and it's enabled by default, but we are currently in the beta of this API. So the API has some problems right now. We're exploring how it's working, and we will release an entire video and documentation just about this API system. So go and check out if there is some information about the API system. But this is really powerful. And if you want to integrate your social network with other applications, Web4 Classic is really good in this point of view. And then you can just enable the settings. So Web4 Classic, this is maybe the biggest strength of this part of social networks, is that we have a very, very deep API system that enables you to make your social network really, really powerful and customizable. Okay, let's go on with the next headings. The welcome page users is a page if your new registered user is registered and logs in for the first time. He gets a step-by-step guide. So it's like, hey, follow this account, write in your name, write in your bio, give us more information about you, upload your profile picture. Here are some recommendations for you. If you want to have this step-by-step guide for your new user, enable it. This is enabled by default. If you say, hey, that's very stupid, I don't want to have this, just disable it. Then you can say what language you want as your default language. So if your social network is primarily used in China, use Chinese. If it's used in Japan, use Japanese. We have translated all those languages. Maybe some languages have some spelling mistakes. You can correct all the languages here in the language tab, which you can see on the left side. So you can add a new language or you can manage the languages. I will show you this later in the video, but just be aware that this is possible to add your own languages or to modify your existing language. But yeah, usually the default language is English, but you can say, for example, German. Just press on it and then it's updated. So maybe this is also good information. If you do some modifications in the settings, they are directly saved. You can see this green animation, and then the setting is saved, so you don't have to lose anything. Then here's the date format, and the date format is different for every localization, so there is no real global standard, I guess. In Germany we would use this form or this form. You can, for example, choose the month, day, year. system. It's completely up to you, but this is the date format, how it is used in your social network. So the system translates it to another date format if you choose another date format than the standard one. And this here is a very important configuration, because it is the landing page your users see if he's not logged in. So you can see it here, it's written again. So if I am a new user and I want to go on your social network, what do I see if I am not logged in? Will I see the login page, which is the default one? Or will I see the register page? Now, if I access the social network, I will see the register form instead of the login form. Now there's also two other options. This option is the newsfeed page. So if I access your social network and I am not logged in, I will see the entire timeline and the newsfeed, and I will see what are the people's discussion in the social network. Well, I cannot like or dislike content, and I cannot write comments or write messages, because those are interactions with the social network, writing permissions, and they need an account. But on this newsfeed page, I am able to read the content, and I can read the newsfeed and timeline. So if you select this option, your non-registered users are still able to see the newsfeed. And the directory page is more like the all-in-one landing spot where you can access the different modules like the marketplace, the forum, the blog system, or the newsfeed itself. So this is like a global entry point for your social network, platform. This gives your non-registered users the most freedom to go around in your social network. But most content moderators and website owners and social network admins choose the login page as the default one, because of course they want their users to log in and not have the most freedom without any account. But it's completely up to you how you want to set it up. Then we have the users configuration. So those are user-based. And here you can see, for example, you want to show how many users are currently online. Do you want to have it enabled or disabled? I think that's pretty clear. Here you can see the last seen statuses. So for example, there's a status system on the social network where you can share things for 24 hours. You can show how or what users have seen it the last time. And here's a very important configuration, and I would highly recommend to have it enabled wherever you operate your social network, because this feature gives your users the possibility to delete their account. So this is pre-configured for every social network on Earth. People can create an account, and whenever they want to leave the social network, they can delete the account. And in most countries, for example in Germany or the EU in general, there are rules that people must be able to create an account and delete the account. But there are some countries in the world who don't really care and who say, well, you can even disable this feature so that your users cannot delete their account. So then you can disable it, and then your users are not able to delete their account when they are in the settings. But I would highly recommend to keep this enabled so that there are no legal problems. Okay, now here is another very interesting configuration, because your users have the possibility to modify their account page. So if I'm in the Gym community, like in this social network, I can go on my account and I can create, for example, another design via CSS, or I can upload my own profile background via an image, for example. And here you can disable and enable this feature, and you can say who is able to change the background. Every users, just admins, verified users, or pro users. So for example, every user who is verified with a blue check mark can change the profile background. It's up to you how you want to configure it. And this is also a very important setting. You see on this page we have a lot of important settings, but this setting is really, really important, and you could or you should check it out directly when you first customize your social network, and it's the friend system. So you know there are friends and followers. On Instagram we have followers, on Facebook we have friends, and those are psychologically different systems. So if I friend with someone on Facebook, it's a deeper connection than a follower on Instagram. On Instagram, I can follow a person and it doesn't mean anything. And on Facebook, I friend with someone, so he is my friend and it's a deeper connection. And you can enable or disable the friend system. If you enable the friend system, the follow system is removed. If you disable the friend system, the follow system is enabled by default. You can say how many connections you can have as a user. So for example, on LinkedIn, you're limited to, I think, 30,000 connections. And here you can say how many friends can my social network user has. And for example, it's limited to 5,000, but you can make your own custom limit to 50 or 500,000 users, 500,000 friends a user can have. It's completely up to you. It's your freedom to create it as an admin, but you should be aware that if you change the system, that all the followers or friends will be deleted. So for example, I have currently the friend system enabled, and my user has 500 friends. And if I disable the friend system and switch to the follow system, I will lose all my 500 friends, and I have 0 follower and I have 0 friends. And then people can follow me, and let's say I have 60 followers, and you as an admin move back to the friend system, I will lose all my 60 followers, and I will have 0 followers and again 0 friends. And then I can start gaining friends. So whenever you switch the system is resetting the number of friends or followers for all of your users. So please be aware and decide at the beginning if you want to have a friend system or a follower system. All right, then the next setting is the user invitation setting, and this is a smaller setting, and on the right side of your newsfeed in the social network, the users have the ability to invite their friends, their family members, their colleagues, for example. And then you can say how many links can a user generate to invite their friends. And for example, you want to say a user can generate 60 links in 1 week or in 1 month. So every month, a user can generate 60 invitation links and invite 60 friends to the platform. Okay, then we have some other settings, and the other settings are also important, but they are very uncategorized. So for example, we have the censored words. You can say what words are censored in my social network. Primarily people choose hate speech, hate words. I just picked up 3 random examples. For example, hate. Whenever a user writes hate, there are 4 stars. So for every letter in this word, the system detects this word and post, and it says, okay, this word is on the blacklist, it's censored. I will replace the word with stars just to censor it. There are some social networks who need this. There are social networks who don't use that. It's completely up to you as long as your social network stays legal. We don't give any recommendations. You can do whatever you want to do. But it's just important to note that there is a feature that gives you the freedom to censor words. All right, then we have the homepage caching. And homepage caching makes your website way faster. And you can decide how often your homepage is cached. For example, you can say my homepage should be caged every 2 minutes, which makes the website or the social networks faster because it doesn't grab always the newest content from the server, which means, for example, if there is 100 posts per second on your social network, just as a random example, it is just refreshing the social network every 2 minutes, and it gives your users the newest data and content every 2 minutes. If you choose the never cage and always fetch new data feature, then it is always requesting new data from the MySQL database, which will increase in the usage, and the request to the database will increase, which makes the performance more bad. If you make the caching system available, then the speed gets way faster. And here you can also go and say for profile pages, I want to make the profile pages with a caching of 30 seconds, means my profile get caged every 30 seconds, and every 30 seconds users can see the new content on my profile, which makes again the performance more bad than if I choose, for example, 24 hours. If I choose 24 hours, just every single day there will be a refresh in the caching for my profile, which is a better performance than if I make a caching for every 30 seconds. But again, this is just if you have a huge number of users. If you have a small class group, or if you have your fitness community or your school community with 2,000 users, it doesn't really care. It doesn't really matter if you choose 2 minutes, you're really good to go. Then this is the exchange rate API key. You may know exchange rate, which is here also linked. If you want to make the exchange system working, just paste your exchange rate API key here. You need to create your own API key on the website. You can see it here, it's linked. Just fill in your API key and then it's directly on the social network. Okay, let's go on the right side. And here we have a lot of settings for the login and the registration. For example, we can enable and disable the user registration, which allows you to say if your social network should be public or private. This is a very, very important setting because, for example, I want to have a private social network, more like an intranet. Then I just press this button and then my social network is private and nobody can register. This is, for example, important if you want to have an invitation-only social network where people needs an invitation to join the social network, or again, if you want to create manually the accounts for your social networks as an admin. But our social network in this case is public, so we enable people to register. Then this is another setting which gives your users an auto username on the registration, which means that people can not choose a username like doglover123. They will fill in their first name and their last name, and in the combination, the system will generate a unique username. Then this one is a password complexity system. So people are using very weak passwords like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And if you want to prevent your user accounts from being hacked, you can enable this password complexity system, which is highly recommendable. And the system will just check, okay, is the password long enough? Does it has special characters? Isn't it just a word? So this is a very intelligent system who is checking your password or the password of your users before it's getting stored in the database. Okay, now we have the unusual login, and we are getting here more into the settings of account prevention. So we want to prevent our user accounts of being hacked. And as an admin, it is really important for me to have less accounts hacked because I want to have a very user-friendly but also safe environment for my users in the social network, and I want to ensure that my accounts for the users are safe. And the unusual login checks, okay, the user registered their account on this IP address, and it is accessing the account usually from a Chromebook. And now currently there is a user who is logging in another country, let's say, I don't know, in Indonesia or China, and the origin user is from America. And it is also an iPhone, not a Chromebook. So if we enable this setting, the new user with the new IP address, the new location, and the new device gets a verification email, and the user has to confirm that he is still this person. So it's a double verification, and we disabled it because this is in demo, and on demos we always disable a feature because, well, I create the admin account for the users, for the admins, and if the admins log in, they get detected by the system, and then they need to verify, but it's usually just a demo email address. So on demos, we disable the setting, but it's highly recommended to enable it in your production website to be sure that there are no mistakes. All right. Then let's go to the next setting. The next setting is to remember this device, and you know it from many other websites where you need to log in and have an account. The remember this device enables you to set a cookie and store your account verification so that you don't have to log in every single time when you access this social network on your device. Then we have a two-factor authentication system, and there are a few settings regarding this one. So you can enable the two-factor authentication, and then you get a access code via email address or SMS or both. So email address and SMS, which is the most secure one, but please remember wherever you have an email address or SMS, you need to make the specific settings in this feature. So here on the left side, you can see we have a place just for the email and the SMS setup. We will follow up with the settings later. But again, here you can enable the two-factor authentication, and then it's enabled by default for all of your users. And whenever a user is logging in, they need to verify, even if they remembered their device. Okay, then we have two other settings for the two-factor authentication. First is the Google Authenticator app. So maybe you don't know the Google Authenticator app. It's an app directly from Google Authenticator, which gives you a random key every 30 seconds, I guess. This is completely free. And if you don't want to use Google as your authenticator, we also enable Authy. Authy is doing, I think, the same job like Google. You can enable it here, but then you also need to set up an Authy token. So Authy, I think, is paid if you exceed the free limit. Google Authenticator is completely free. Okay, now there are some other account and login settings. For example, the account validation. If you enable the account validation and the user registers on your social network, he has to confirm his identity via email address or SMS. So he will get an SMS message or an email which says, hey, press on this link to confirm that you are real. Then we have a reCAPTCHA. The reCAPTCHA is working with the Google reCAPTCHA. So reCAPTCHA is a brand from Google. Just type in Google reCAPTCHA, set up your account, your Google developer account, enable this feature and paste in the reCAPTCHA key and the reCAPTCHA secret key, which Google provides you. And then you have a reCAPTCHA on the login page and the register page, and on other pages, like for example, the contact us page. And the recapture, for those who don't know what it is, this is the little checkbox where you have select the images for a specific request, like press on all images with a school bus. And it prevents, for example, spam and bots, because bots are spamming maybe the login or the register form, and then they have a single system between the button and the form, and it prevents spam. But again, you are using Google keys, and Google has a limit, for example, 1,000 requests per day. And if you exceed it, you may need to pay for more verifications. But again, I don't know the current limits, and the limits can change. Okay. All right, now we need the prevent bad logging attempts. So again, people call it brute force attacks. If you want to prevent bad logging attempts, just enable this feature, and then you can say, for example, if a user tries more than 4 times to log into my account, lock him for 10 minutes. So if I log in and I made a mistake, and I make a second mistake and a third mistake and a fourth mistake, lock my device for 10 minutes, and then I can have more chances. I can say, okay, maybe a more strict rule would be 2 logging attempts for every 30 minutes. And after 30 minutes, I get an account reset, or I can have a reset on my device so that I can have 2 more logging attempts. Okay, but the default one should be 4 logging attempts every 10 minutes. Okay, and the registration limit is how many accounts a user can create per hour. And for example, a user can create 100 accounts on my social network per hour, or a user can create 1 account per hour per user, of course. Okay, but I think the default one should be 10, even if we made 100 for the demo. All right, and then we have some reserved usernames. So for example, you don't want specific usernames for your users to be enabled. The system itself should be enabled, because we have some features like the liked pages, which are on the subdomain and cause some conflicts in future updates. So keep it enabled, but you can add more account names that your users shouldn't be able to choose. For example, if I don't want my user to choose the username hacker123, or for example admin, I can type in those names, and then my users are not able to register an account with their username admin. Okay, again, you see that the color of the field turned green, so everything is saved. All right, the disable startup page enables you to remove some setup configurations for a new user. And then we have here the notification settings, and here you can define where my users should receive notifications. For example, I want my users to receive email notifications whenever someone visits my profile, or if there is a new notification on a new post. So for example, I can disable this one to prevent spam in the user's email inbox, but I want to notify my users whenever someone visits my profile. And for example, I have an account in this community, in the social network. When someone accesses my profile, I will get an email, and this is just also a feature to bring your users back to the social network, because they will get reminded, hey, I have a profile on the social network. I got an email that someone visits my profile. Who is that? Let me check that out. Okay, but in the demo, this is disabled as well. Cool. So these are the general configurations. I hope that this was as good in the overview as possible. But again, if you have any questions, write them in the comments so that we can help you and that others can also solve the issues. from the comments below, or if it's more a private configuration or a wish for a new feature, just write the team at hello@linksview.com. But we are not ready yet. So as you can see, we have a full list of features that we need to discuss. All right, the next one is the website information. And website information is the first time where you customize the outlook of your website. For example, you can set your own website title, you can set up your own website name. Then there are some keywords. Keywords are always important for search engines and crawlers. So for example, if your community is about website building community, you can write this down, and then whenever the crawler is searching for the search term on Google or Yahoo or Bing or wherever, there's a good chance that it will find your social network depending on those keywords, because your website says my social network is a website building community. All right, then you can give your own website description for new users. And the website logo moved to another section. We'll see that later here in the design. At the beginning, I told you that you can also set up your own Google Analytics code, which gives you more information about how are your users behaving on the social network. Just copy and paste your Google Analytics code here in the admin dashboard, and then you can get deep insights about what is going on your social network, how are people behaving in the social network, and so on. All the data you allow Google Analytics to track will be tracked on the social network. Just paste in the code here. Okay, then we have here some API system. So features, API keys, and information. And here we have some API keys for just for the demo purpose. Let me remove that they don't confuse you. They are actually not real, but they could look like this. And for example, my mistake, this wasn't maybe that lucky, but for example, you can choose to enable Google Maps in your social network. Then you can type your own Google Maps API and enable this feature. I will disable it now, because otherwise we will receive an error because this field is empty. So when you need any of these features, just enable them, but be sure to paste the API key, otherwise you may get a warning in the site health. So this is why we pushed some demo content here in this field, that we don't receive a warning. But yeah, if you want to have Google Maps in your social network, just type in the API key and enable the features. And it's exactly the same like the Yandex Maps. So just enable it and paste the API key. Beside the both maps, we also have the translation for posts. So if there is a user writing something in Chinese, you can translate it with an API directly to English or German or whatever your language is. Or if you want to translate English to Chinese, you can do this while using, for example, the Yandex Translation API or the Google Translation API. Again, if you need those API keys, just type it on Google, because things can switch how you can organize the API keys. If you wish that you have a tutorial for those API keys, how to set it up, we can do a tutorial for that. Just write it again in the comments or message the team. But those interfaces from Google and Yandex, they can change. And therefore, it is always important to stay up to date with the latest documentations directly from those providers. Then we also have a YouTube API key. This is for posting YouTube videos on the social networks, and the Giphy API key for posting GIFs in messages, posts, and comments. And if you have created a native app for the social network, like a native Android timeline or native iOS messenger, which you can do, just paste the link for your Play Store or your Apple App Store app, and then people will see it in the social network. It's in the footer on the right side, and then it says like, hey, download our app to not have to access the social network on the browser, and then people get redirected to the specific page in the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. Okay, nice. If you made those 2 steps, we are pretty good to go, and you can grab a coffee now because we have done the most stuff. And now there are some other configurations, and I know it's a lot of content, but again, it's a tutorial for you to watch this video and set it up. Now the next thing is the file upload configuration. And here you can configure how you want or what you want your users to upload, and this is really important, so keep it focused. You can say my users should be able to upload files and share them. Then there is video uploading, reels uploading, reels from Instagram or YouTube Shorts. It's the short video system that we enabled. There is the audio upload and sharing system and the CSS upload and modification system. And you can enable and disable all of them just with one click. And for the video, reels, and audio system, you can even say who can use this feature. So again, all users can upload videos, or just admins, or just verified users, or users with a pro account. Then you can also say, hey, my upload should be limited for specific file types or file sizes. So just the allowed extensions can be used to upload a file. And the maximum size of a file should be, for example, 1 GB or 5 GB or way smaller to up to 96 MB. And when we upload images, we can also compress them so that the image size is getting smaller. And here you can choose the image compression level to very low and up to very high, very low, low, medium, high, and very high. And this just says how much you want to compress it. So if you want to compress it very high, your image size is getting very small, but the image quality is getting pretty low. And if you want to have a pretty good image quality, but also a bigger image size, then you need to go on very low or low. And again, this exists also for the videos. For the videos, it's called FFmpeg. And this is just an inbuilt system where you shouldn't change much because the configurations are pretty good, but you can say, I want to have those file types enabled, and I want to convert my video in a different sort of speed. So converting videos is like on YouTube to have different qualities of the video, a video in 1080 pixel, a video in 720 pixel, or even 480 pixel or smaller. I think there's also 180 pixel, but that's very full of pixels. And if you want to convert your video speed faster, the video is ready quicker, so your users can stream the video quicker, but not every quality is supported. And if you convert them very slow, it's taking more time for the video to appear on the social network, but you have more qualities supported. And if you set it up, you can debug it here on the bottom, and then you can see if everything is working on the server. And now we are making maybe one of the most important configuration, because now it's getting on the storage. And you may have wondered, okay, if I have a social network, my users can upload 100 different files and hundreds of videos with up to 24 hours in length, and what's going on? How can I manage all the storage? And by default, if you are a beta tester or if you're an enterprise customer, we can discuss it. But if you have a 30 seconds account, so if you are going to make it on Web4 SNAS, Social Networks as a Service, you will have just 1 GB of default storage right now. And this is like nothing. It's like a few images and maybe a video. And we just make a very, very small storage for you because you are able to make third-party buckets. For example, you can choose the Amazon S3 configuration, the FTP settings. You can choose to upload your content to DigitalOcean, to Google Cloud, to Backblaze or Wasabi. And all of them are mass storage. So if you want to have, for example, 1 terabyte of storage, you pay $7 to $10 per terabyte, and $7 for 1 terabyte is not very much if you know that your 1 terabyte is hundreds of videos and images. So just enable the right provider that you want to choose. FTP is more like another specific file server, but you can choose, for example, Amazon S3 as your provider, and then you will get these keys and credentials from Amazon, and then you can test this system, and then you can upload all the files to Amazon, and every new file will get uploaded to your Amazon S3 bucket. And this is the recommended way. Not to store content on the server because it's generating a lot of traffic and it is pulling all the images on one server, and this is not recommended. Just upload the content to a S3 bucket, and they are specialized on having mass content. So storage is cheap, storage will be cheaper in the future, and just upload all the stuff to your S3 bucket. Then we don't get up to you and say, hey, please delete the content, you're more than 1 gigabyte on storage. This is the recommended way to set it up by yourself, and then you have all the data and you can access all the images and videos if there is some moderation issue. Okay, I hope you got it on the file upload and configuration, and I would follow up with the next systems, so it will be a bit quicker from now on. And if you have any questions, again, just message the team. Now let's go to the email and the SMS setup. And on the email and SMS setup, it's important that we make some pre-configurations, that we give you an SMTP server, but you maybe want to have your own SMTP server. So just choose SMTP server, use your default website email and your SMTP credentials. Here the secret key is not shown due to security reasons, of course, but there is something storing in the background. And if you type something again, then it's overriding it. But again, you should be familiar with SMTP for email sending. A lot of newsletter applications are using SMTP. If you are not knowing anything about SMTP, go on Google, YouTube, and use AI to understand how SMTP is working. But it's super easy. You just need a few credentials from your SMTP server. And if you don't have an SMTP server, you can host one, or you can go to another provider for sending the emails. You will get this SMTP credentials, and then you can debug if everything is working. Then you should get a notification like this one. And if the client here, for example, in the last line says bye, everything should work. And SMS sending is a bit more pricey. You have to pay more if you want to send an SMS than an email, depending on your provider. But SMS need special SMS provider like Twilio, Bulk SMS, Infobip, or MSG91. And all those providers need their own credentials. So if you want to choose to send SMS via Twilio, you will get from Twilio your phone number, and then you need to fill in the Twilio account SID, the Twilio auth token, and the Twilio phone number, and then you're good to go. And then Twilio is sending the SMS messages in your name for your social network, for example, for the two-step authentication, which we discussed earlier. But again, Then you have to pay the prices per message or per 1000 messages from Twilio, and maybe there is a free limit depending on special discounts. So all the emails and SMS from your social network are here, and you need to set this page up because this is really carefully. Whenever you chose something with emails in the steps before, like here in the general configuration or in the website mode or in website information, whenever you set up something with an email, please make sure that you set up these settings correctly, otherwise your emails won't get sent. So this is nothing we set up for you pre-configured. As I've said, we give you a pre-configured SMTP server, but maybe not for every social network in the future, so make sure to set it up for yourself. Then we have a chat and video and audio chat system. So, on a typical social network, people want to chat in Messenger, people want to interact between each other, people want to make video calls, audio calls. Here you can disable and enable it. For example, this chat system is now enabled for all users, but you can also say that just verified users or pro users can chat between each other. You can see if a message was seen by a user. You can make a user typing system. Again, a user typing system is currently running on Ajax, and a good way here is to discuss Ajax and Node.js. Both are systems for the messenger. So Node.js is a other system than Ajax for setting up this messenger. Again, it's working on Ajax and Node.js, but the social network which you will get has typical access to Node.js, but the environment is not configured with Node.js. So you can see here the Node.js settings. Please leave it. Node.js is not working right now. Just to give you a quick background, if you want to have Ajax, you just need PHP in the background to work, and the environment where your social network is running has PHP. But if you want to have Node.js, you need Node on your environment for the social network, and we don't have Node right now in those environments. So Node is not working right now. There will be Node support in the future, and it is already here in the dashboard. I know that because some beta users have access to the Node.js system. But it's very typical that you don't have it, so I won't discuss this Node configurations here in this overview. Just make sure to understand that the Node.js configuration is not working right now. And then if you want to have video calls and audio calls, just enable those features. Again, you can say who can make a video call and who can make an audio call. It's similar to WhatsApp, where you can call with your loved ones. But again, usually you take a WebRTC server. Your environment doesn't have WebRTC, so all the calls are made via the Twilio or the Agora API. And both are doing the same job. You can say, oh, okay, let me remove this one because that may confuse a bit. But you can say, okay, I want to have Agora or I want to have Twilio. They're doing the same job. They just differentiate from the pricing. Sometimes Twilio is more pricey than Agora. Sometimes Agora is cheaper than Twilio. It's completely changeable. So you can say, I want to use Agora as an API. And then you just enable Agora, fill in your app ID, app certificate, customer ID, and customer secret. And if you set up everything correctly on Agora, which you can also check out here, you should be able to make video calls and audio calls. All right. Now something other very cool is the social login settings. So if you are on the login page again, you usually have different services that you can use to set up your account. You can enable Facebook login, you can enable Google login, Twitter login, LinkedIn login, Instagram login, also vContact login. Just enable the systems that you want to have. For example, I want my users to enable with those social networks. We have a bunch of lists like QQ, WeChat, Discord, Mail.ru, Okru, TikTok, and even WordPress, but I wouldn't recommend WordPress. But you can enable all of those social networks, but make sure that you need for every social network a developer account, and you need to set up again the API keys, the client ID and the client secret for every social network where you want to have the social login. And this makes things really tough because this is time consuming. You need to make a developer account on Facebook, you need to make a developer account on Google, on X, on LinkedIn, and then you need to paste all the client IDs and client secret keys. It's a one-time job. It is taking time. You should be aware of this when setting up your social network, but this is the social login system. Okay, cron job is something we do for you. And then we are here into the AI settings. And for AI, it is funny because currently you have some AI features on the social network. For example, you can generate images, you can generate posts, you can make an AI blog system working so that people can write blogs with AI. You can make an AI avatar and cover system. But currently, we are just using the OpenAI API key. So you need an API key from OpenAI, which you paste here, and then you can say, okay, I want GPT-4 as my model, and then I can generate images with OpenAI on my post or my image system. You can even say who can generate it, and you can say how much it costs for the user to generate it. For example, 10 credits. And your users can purchase those credits again, so that you don't lose money with this OpenAI system, but your users are paying for these AI features. The thing is, we will enhance it. So we will bring up way more AI settings in the future. We will make AI agents. We will make AI open source tools. We will pre-tune our own AI agents based on, for example, Gemma or Qwen, which are open source models. And the AI field here is just starting. So we are currently focusing on another big feature to enable people to create the social network in 30 seconds. When this is done and you're watching this video, be sure that we are having 200 of different AI features in the backlog currently, which we will then make available for you via this admin setup. So there will a big change. All right, and now we go to the post settings. This is just settings about where can I share my links. For example, I can share my posts on Twitter, Facebook, WhatsApp, Pinterest, LinkedIn, Telegram. If I want to have an 18+ community, people can also share nudity content or naked images. But if you have users under 18, please enable the system and then use the Google Vision API to filter those bad images or those 80+ content. And then you can say, I want to blur the images for my users, or I want to delete the images completely. So if you have users under the age of 18 and you don't want to moderate every single photo on the social network, please enable the system, then paste in the Google Vision API key, which you can find in the Google Developer Console, and then just press here, delete the image. And whenever Google is detecting a naked image, for example, they will be able to delete this content directly for you and save you time with the moderation. All right, and then we have some other general post and comment settings. For example, you can have the memory system, which gives you a quick a quick summary what happened on the social network. You can have a watermark, for example, on every image should be a watermark, or a shoutbox system, which allows users to create posts anonymously. Well, this makes people able to create content really anonymously. They can choose if they want to upload the image, if it is for public, if it is for friends, and they can say, okay, this post is anonymous, and then you don't know who uploaded this content. So if you do this, make sure that you know your community, because there is a lot of bad stuff. You can always delete also anonymous content, but you shouldn't get into trouble with illegal stuff. So this is a critical setting. Then color posts are, again, if you see this icon, just let me remind this. This icon gives you always the ability to create or to say who can create this feature or who can use this feature. But color posts in general are posts where you just get a template, a color or an image, and then you can write something directly into this image, like a meme, for example. And those color posts are very famous on Facebook, so you will have seen it on Facebook if you are on Facebook. This colored system is here on the left side, the next thing we will check out, so you can enable and disable it. The post approval system is a system for admins and moderations. You can say whenever a user is creating a new image or blog, they can directly publish it for everyone globally in the community, or just for touch group, or the post should be approved by moderator. Then you will switch it on, and I will upload an image, for example. A moderator needs to double check it. Then it will be in the queue, and whenever a moderator verified it as a safe content, it will be uploaded to the community. So this post approval system is a critical setting, and you should decide, can everybody publish something on the community, or does my content need to be double checked by moderator or admin? Okay, then you have a popular post and comment system, which showcases the most popular posts and comments of the week. You have a report system for comments. If a comment is nasty, for example, or harming your community, you can make a report system for that, and moderators can double check reported comments. You have a location system, you have a feeling system where people can tell other people how they are feeling. You have a poll system, and polls are very, very famous on communities. So it's like making give people's opinion a voice. How do you like this feature? How do you like this content? How do you like this new published product? And people can tell what they think about. And here you can customize your prompts. Okay, let's get to the new stuff, and those are the color posts. And as you can see, you can create your templates for the color posts with an image or with colors. And I can say, for example, my color should be, let's give it a light purple, and here let's make it a bit more blue. Then this is my template. The text color should be in, let's make it white. Yeah, looks good. I can create this color post. Okay, the system is reloading. And then you can see this template, which is here. And now my users can go on a color post, can create a new color post. They will see all those templates. They will even see this template. And then they can write something down like, good morning, everybody. And then it is here instead of this hello world. Let me delete this template. All right. Then you even have the ability to customize your post reactions. So a post reaction can be a like icon, a love icon, a haha, a wow, a sad, or an angry icon. And you can disable them, of course. So you can just have like and love, for example, or love and laugh. But you can also edit them, and you can say, hey, they can first of all have a different name for every single language. And then you can choose your own reaction icon. And if you upload your own reaction icon, it will be replaced with your own icon. So if you don't like this icon, just pick up a random icon that you want to have for the like one, and then you can upload it. And of course, you can also create new reaction icons, just attach the new file, the new icon, and add the reaction, and then you have a 7th, for example. And the last one in the settings, I promise it's the last one, is the live streaming. So you can enable or disable live streaming, and you can say after a live stream, should the live stream video be shared and uploaded. If you want to enable this setting, it's important that it's just possible to upload a live streaming if you are using Amazon S3, because live streams are really big. I can be live with you for 12 hours. If I finish the live stream, I need the entire 12-hour video, and this is taking a lot of storage. So again, then I need Amazon S3. I just fill in the credentials from Amazon, and then I need to enable this one as well, and then my live streams are securely saved. Otherwise, if you want to have live streaming possible, it's important to have also one of those APIs, whether it's the Agora API or the Millicast API. It doesn't really matter which you choose, but you need to choose one, and you will get different credential IDs. So again, here's Agora. You know Agora already from the video and audio call system. So just paste in the keys and then you're good to go. Okay, cool. Let me go ahead. Now you think, oh gosh, how long is this video taking? If you're just ready with the settings, things will be way quicker now, I promise you. So the next one is to enable and disable specific features. Yeah, and here you will see all the modules and the features that are available in the social network. For example, the event one or the forum system. You can disable and enable all of the different features and the modules as you want to have them. For example, I want to have the nearby shop system disabled, and I want to have the classified system disabled. Just press on the link and all of those features will be disabled. And if you want to have more gamification in the social network, you can enable the point and level configuration, and you can say, hey, people can gain some points. For example, free users can use or grab up to 1,000 coins per day. Pro users can create or gain up to 2,000 coins per day, and they will get or receive 10 coins per comment, 5 coins per like. They will get 5 points or 5 points for a reaction, and 30 points for a new post, and 50 points for a new blog. And this motivates people to create content on your social network, and you know interaction is the key, and they can grab all of those coins, and for example, if they have 1,000 coins, it is equal to $1. And you see, you can modify how many coins a free user and a pro user can collect per day. So in this case, a free user can collect a maximum of 1,000 coins, which would be 20 different blocks per day. So if I write 20 blocks, I will get 1,000 coins as a free user, and this is $1. And then you can even withdraw the earned points. So I can say I want to transfer this money to my bank account via PayPal or bank transaction, or I don't want my users to withdraw the money. They should spend the points or the coins in my social network for the shop system. So I would recommend you to check out all the features and all the point systems for yourself, because I could go into detail very, very deep, but just listening to this video doesn't help anyone. So I recommend you to play with the settings and find out what is the best ideal configuration for points, for the features in your own social network. Again, here all the settings are just more like an overview. For example, here you will see an overview about all the posts in my social network, where I can open this post, for example, and check out what was written in this post. So here you can find all the content. You will see the fundings, the jobs, the offers, and so on. And if you want to have deeper videos into one of those features, we will create an entire playlist for that in the future, or check out the existing playlist How to Web4, where we already made some content. Now the languages are also something very understandable, so we made pre-translation for all of those languages. I don't know how many languages did we have. We can see the number now. But you can delete the languages, you can disable the languages, and you can edit the languages. And you need to understand how the social network is working. So every single string in the social network is in a database. In your own database, it's a MySQL database, and it gives you the freedom to modify every single string on the social network. For example, if I go into English language, one of those translations would be the login. And if I don't want to call it login, I want to call it, for example, login 123, I can write it here. So I can go to English, and I can say login 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And wherever is a login, or wherever this word login exists on my social network, it will get replaced by this string. But I will make it undone. Okay, now here are settings for the users. You can manage your users, you can manage your online users, you can manage the user stories, you can manage user verification requests. You can also manage the affiliate settings. So there is a pre-programmed affiliate system in your social network to invite other users to the social network. You can have the payment system for different payments, where you can have the payment providers like bank transactions, PayPal or Stripe. Go and check out those settings in the social network. Then we have some advertisements. So advertisement settings are made for advertisements in your social network. Okay. And here are pro systems. So the pro systems are different packages that you can purchase, like the star package, the hot package, the ultimate package, and the VIP package. And in these settings, you can modify what is on the package. So for example, if we go on the star package, you can modify this package, you can give special discounts, you can give special permissions in the social network. And this is just to make money. So for all the pro settings and the money making settings, we will also make an own video. So this is just a teaser. Here in the design, we have special themes, and you can change your own fav icon, your logo, and your logo for the dark mode. Just upload it, but keep in mind that your logo sizes need those dimensions. For example, 470 pixels to 75 pixels. This is for your logo to look very good, like here, the Jimdo logo. And then you can here make color designs. For example, we chose the color code blue, but you can choose another color code like red, for example. But in our case, let's keep it blue. And then here you can write some custom JavaScript code and some custom CSS code for your social network. All right, now we're done. Now here are some special tools. We're nearly done. Here are some special tools. For example, you can manage the emails on your social network. You can customize the texts and the different email addresses. You can invite new users for a social network, which is really important if you have a private social network without any registrations. You can send emails like a newsletter to your different users, like active users, inactive users. You can make announcements on the social network. You can auto-delete users who are inactive, for example. You can delete users that are not logged in for more than a week or 1 month. You have an auto friend system, an auto page like system, and an auto group join system. So every new person should maybe join my group. You have even a fake user generator, which is primarily for users to test out features, like here some configuration features. Please make sure that you even pay for fake users. So if you generate 1,000 fake users and the system is running on a payment per user system, we will also make fake users in the billing. Then you have a mass notification system. You have a blacklist feature to blacklist people, for example, IP addresses, email addresses, or usernames. Then you can generate a sitemap for a SEO, and here you can generate invitation codes. And you can generate invitation codes which are working for one user. So you can copy this link, you can send it to a user, and the user can log in with this invitation link, even if the registration is disabled. But one link is just for one user. So you can't copy this link and make it possible for 1,000 users to sign up, but one link is for one user. Okay, and here in the pages, you can create custom pages in the footer, or you can manage your terms pages. So make sure to write your own terms of use, to write your own privacy policy. For example, here in the terms of use, you will get a template, and then you can write all your community guidelines. Again, also for the pages and for the tools, we will create different videos here on YouTube. This is just an overview to show you where you can do what. And this is, for example, on the terms pages, the terms of use, where you can write your own community rules. You can translate it into all the pre-translated languages. So for every language, even those which you want to create, you can write the terms of use. And last but not least, the report system. Here you can manage your reports from users, reports regarding posts, and user reports. People can report other users if they misbehave in the community, and then you will see a new entry in this list, and then you can moderate it. All right. I think that this overview was quite good, even if it is very long. I know that. We will create more custom content for different configurations, but this was more for the settings page, as you've seen, and an overview what else is possible in the social network. I hope that it was not overwhelming enough. Again, if you have any questions, please feel free to write them in the comments or message the team at hello@linksdrew.com, and we're always happy to help.